with former players about payoffs and illegal gifts. One of the players quoted in the Sport Magazine article is Tim McGee. Today, McGee took time off from walking the picket line with the Cincinnati Bengals to talk about the allegations with Chip Carter.
The headlines read, "Trouble at Tennessee, cover-ups, perks, and payments." But how credible is the Sport Magazine article? One of its sources, former UT receiver Tim McGee, shot down most of the quotes attributed to him in the article. Sport has McGee saying he received cash payments ranging from post-game $100 handshakes to outright gifts. McGee denies it, saying he was misquoted.
He asked me the question, well, I've heard players say they took money from a handshake. I said, I have too. And he put down, I received the money, and I've never received money. And like I made this statement, if I received all this money, I wish they would deliver it to me so I could spend some of this money. I could use it, but I didn't get it. What the article said about that I sold my ticket was totally untrue, and I've tried to call David Miller and ask him why did he turn some of the things I said around to where I understand there was something going on illegal at the university.
Sport also puts a lot of emphasis on the inside McGee affidavit UT used in their final report to the NCAA. McGee has an answer for that one.
He said that the university used an affidavit from me in the investigation, and I wasn't aware, and I told him I was around here so much that I talked to Coach Dickey on a friendly basis and Coach Major that they could have used one of those quotes, and they just probably couldn't find me to sign the thing. So I didn't deny that I did it, and I didn't say I did it because I didn't know. I had no idea what was going on, and he took that as in they were covering up something, and that's, I guess, what the whole article was pointing towards.
While there's still a question over the validity of the Sports Magazine article, the story does raise another more important question simply because of the timing of it. Tennessee is off to one of their best starts ever, and will this controversy happening outside Neyland Stadium affect the play inside?
Personally, I think it won't bother this team too much. This team's too hungry and just wants to win.
I try to concern myself with the stuff on the field and leave Coach Dickey and Coach Majors to those kind of problems.
So the players aren't concerned with headlines, just defensive and offensive lines, and what it all means between the white lines on Saturday. Chip Carter, Action 10 Sports.
While former players and administrators talk about Sport Magazine, the Tennessee Volunteers continue their preparations for the game with California. Tennessee is ranked 10th in this week's AP poll out this morning. The Volunteers play the Golden Bears Saturday at 12:40 at Neyland Stadium. There are a few tickets available.
From the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, 77 degrees as the Auburn Tigers. This is the first conference game for Auburn. Easy victories over Texas and then Kansas. The Auburn football defense has given up only 3 points. So the Tigers are awesome, ranked 3rd in the nation, but definitely untested thus far. You can bet on this. They will be tested today here at Neyland Stadium. Pat Dye and the Tigers remember 1985 when they came in here ranked number 1, and Tennessee surprised them. Pat Dye said, "We will not be surprised today, no matter what happens, because we know Tennessee is for real." The Volunteers, winners in the Kickoff Classic over Iowa, easy wins over Colorado State, and a relatively easy conference opening victory over Mississippi State, played down in Starkville. But now the Volunteers are home and ready for the big game, the conference opener for Auburn. And Tim Foley, when we analyze this game, the first thing you got to talk about is that awesome Auburn defense.
They are just really strong, and they've got depth at every position. Talking to Walt Harris, I asked him what you think about it, where you're going to attack them, and he looked at me and I don't know. You've seen them, haven't you? Where would you attack them? Because they've got All-Americans at 3 positions, Tracy Rocker, Andre Bruce, Kevin Porter in the secondary, and they're just tough.
Tennessee's defense does not look as awesome on paper, but it's a very good defense and very different.
They've been injured up front, and that's been a little bit of a weakness for them, but I think Mark Hovanek and Brian Hunt will be back, and they have been a big play defense so far this year. 11 turnovers for the Tennessee defense.
Now gone are Fullwood and Jackson and Cribbs and Brooks and the great Auburn tailbacks. This year, it's kind of a who's going to play tailback.
Well, they've got 3 good running backs, a young guy that can really haul the bread, and Harry Mose. He's got a lot of speed. But really, they're throwing the ball more, and they're throwing it very effectively. As we mentioned in the opening, they've got the #1 rated passer in the country, Jeff Berger. And I think uncharacteristically, they've got 5 excellent wide receivers.
And both coaches feel the kicking game could be very important today, particularly in the kickoff and punt return game. We'll be back here for the opening kickoff in just a moment to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. This series began November 10th, 1900 at Birmingham, Alabama. Auburn won that first game 23-0, and they lead in the series 21-16-1. Auburn has won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. So Tennessee will have Dirk Borgononi kicking off to this man, Freddie Wagan. He is one of the best punt returners in the nation. This is the first time he's been back to return the Auburn kickoff. Deceptive speed. Corral the kickoff, and it'll be a touchback. Auburn will bring it out to the 20-yard line, and this ball game is underway. The man under pressure, the nation's leading passer, Jeff Berger, but the man under pressure is James Joseph, the tailback. Will it be Joseph? Will it be the other backs back there? Stewart, Danley, Mose. Who's going to carry the load for the Auburn running game? They have great wide receivers. Stacy Searles, one of the best offensive linemen in America, playing with a broken hand and also a slight ankle sprain. We'll see how he fares today. From the 20, first down, 10, Tigers. Berger's opening up with a pass. And it is complete to begin this game to Walter Reeves, the tight end. A gain of about 8. The defense for Tennessee. Opportunistic is the best word to describe these Volunteers. The defensive line, Johnson, McCray, and Hobby, may be better with the backups, Hovanek and Hunt, who are back from injuries. Kelly Ziegler, the leading tackler and a spiritual leader of this team, and a great big play man, a world-class sprinter, Terry McDaniel. He is number 86 playing on the corner. On the second down, Auburn runs for the first down with a fullback, Reggie Ware, out to the 32-yard line.
Bob, in the opening, we talked about the pass, and I don't want the people out there to get the feeling that Auburn has somehow become air die. They're using the pass as a great counterpunch. They still run the football, but they've just been more effective passing the ball than they've ever been. Well, Everett's a little strong. Pat Sullivan's on the sideline. He was pretty effective for him throwing the ball a few years ago.
First and 10 from the 31. Berger. As his man, it's Reeves, the tight end again, out to the 38-yard line. He was hit by Kelly Ziegler, the senior linebacker from Miami for Tennessee. A gain of 8 yards, and Ziegler, the leading tackler on this team.
Gets out of there in a hurry. Obviously, first down, he's looking for the run, and he responds well to the ball in the air as Mike Kelly comes up and helps put him away.
Second down, 3, Tigers. Joseph, first down to the 44-yard line. Auburn mixing it up. Pass for about 7 or 8, and then the run, and Johnny Majors. He is second in seniority in the Southeastern Conference. He's been here at his alma mater for 11 years now.
And Majors knows that if he wins this game, he's got an excellent shot at the SEC title, because their only strong contender left for him is Alabama.
First down 10 from the 44. Auburn started from their 20 after the Tennessee kickoff and into the end zone for a touchback. And Kelly Ziegler doesn't like what he sees. Tennessee calls a defensive timeout here as the Tigers have reached midfield. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Auburn is moving the tight end before the ball is snapped, and as you can see here, the tight end moves, and it causes the defensive line to shift down. Hobby is pushing McCray down, is shifting Cooper out. Kelly Ziegler, the quarterback of the defense, knowing the importance of every play in a game like this, doesn't want any mental errors, so he calls a timeout. Let's get on the same page, fellas.
We have 13:23 to go in quarter number 1, along with Tim Foley, Bob Neal from Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. First down 10 Tigers from their own 44, the opening drive for Auburn. Berger in the air again. It's complete to the running back, James Joseph, at the 50-yard line. Berger has thrown 3 passes, has completed 3 passes. He leads the nation in passing efficiency.
and they've all been on first down, Bob. Obviously, it's a poker game between Ken Donahue, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee, and Larry Blakeney and Pat Sullivan, who are responsible for calling the plays for Auburn. And I think that Auburn's trying to throw them off track now. Throwing the ball 3 times on first down. I wonder how far you'd have to go back in history to find that for these guys.
James Joseph, big hole. First down. They'll spot it right near the 40-yard line, tripped up by 33 inside linebacker Keith DeLong, and number 10 just gained 10 yards.
See Reggie Ware, number 36, and Stacy Dunn gets an excellent block there on Kelly Ziegler, walls him off, and Joseph almost breaks it. The difference between this Auburn team and last year and the years before, Fullwood might have been gone on that one. Bo Jackson might have been gone on that.
Now Vincent Harris, 21, and 10, James Joseph in the backfield for Auburn on first down from the 41-yard line. Berger, no pressure. Throws to Joseph again. And he gets to the 34-yard line, and Tim Foley. We talked last week in the Florida-Alabama game about the importance of first down yardage. And here on every first down, Auburn has got more than the 4 yards. They've had 6, 7, 8 yards.
I think sometimes, Bob, defenses are more they're more consistent in their tendencies on first down. Tennessee's been playing zone on first down, playing safe, playing cautious. Auburn just running little circle patterns, looking downfield for the deeper route, but if it's not there, quick to get it to the back.
Second down 4 from the Tennessee 34. Here's Joseph on the sweep. Good blocking. Joseph to the 15-yard line. Tackled by Andre Kramer, a gain of 19 yards. And Auburn is looking as awesome on this opening drive against Tennessee as Auburn looked against Texas and Kansas.
Here they come. Pull to the slot. Great lead block by Vincent Harris. James Joseph turning it upfield, getting what he can get. Now you're going to see Tennessee come after him. Ziegler and DeLong. DeLong gets wrapped up. Just can't get out there to make the play.
Hand off to Stewart. Penalty marker down. Stewart is down at the 13-yard line. Curtis Stewart is 33, the senior. Back up to James Joseph. Tennessee has 4 tailbacks. We'll probably see them all today. Jimmy Harper, our SEC referee today. The official's microphone with a problem. You see the rest of the crew for the Southeastern Conference officiating group here today. It is a penalty. Illegal procedure against Auburn. Moves it back to the 20 and makes it tough when you get in here because now it is first down 15 from the 20 and not much room to operate.
What Auburn likes to do down in this area, they're not different from a lot of teams. They like to run the fade. And the receiver just bows out toward the corner. Or they might try to hit him with a play pass. Obviously, Tennessee's got to think pressure here.
Balanced drive. 4 passes. 4 running plays for Auburn. First and 15 from the Tennessee 20. Joseph. Reverse. Here comes Lawyer Tillman. Hit at the 21 and down he goes. Tennessee was there. Richard Cooper stayed at home. Number 77, the left tackle.
Always a good play against this pursuing Tennessee defense on an early down is a reverse. Mike Kelly fights off the block of Jeff Berger, sits down. Cooper comes over and makes a tackle. Tillman is probably, though, the best receiver Auburn has once he's got the football in his hands.
Second down, 16, Auburn from the 21-yard line. Auburn knifing through the Tennessee defense, but stalling for the moment. Screen left side, overthrown, intended for Joseph. It'll be third down, 16, Auburn, and the Tennessee fans on their feet now. Here's where the crowd can really come into play as Auburn drives into Tennessee territory at the horseshoe end of Neyland Stadium, and the 93,000+ here are going to be a crowd factor.
That's what I've noticed about this Tennessee defense, Bob. They don't seem to be too tough between the 20s. But every time I've seen them in person or on film, they seem to come to life at this area. And somebody on that defense, Terry McDaniel, Kelly Ziegler, Cooper, comes up with a big play.
Lawyer Tillman, 85. Freddie Wagan, 14, are the Auburn receivers in a passing spread formation. Third and 16 from the 21 Tennessee. Pressure. Berger is down at the 36-yard line. Back there first. Off the injury list. Out of the hospital. Mark Hovanek, number 59.
Hovanek, a big part of their success in 85. See Ziegler coming up the middle. He's looking for the wide receivers. Peppers is in one of their faces. Lawyer Tillman's being jammed by McDaniel. They're man-to-man pressure. Nobody home.
This is going to be a nearly 52-yard field goal attempt. This is Win Lyle. He's 18 years old, true freshman from Auburn. Pat Dye with his brain trust on the sideline, discussing what they might do, a 52-yard field goal attempt. Now, Win Lyle has kicked a 52-yarder in an Auburn scrimmage, but let me point out that that young man has kicked only one field goal in a collegiate game. He's 18, he's a walk-on, and he's here in Knoxville in front of 93.5.
Hello. Welcome to college football, Whit. In the orange jacket you see with his arms folded was Pat Sullivan, the Heisman Trophy winner from Auburn. Has had a lot to do with the success and the evolution of this passing game. He and Larry Blakey.
Number one, you see standing there, is Brian Schulman, the Auburn punter. Interesting story is Schulman had been a walk-on at Tennessee. Tennessee went with their punter, Garman. So Schulman is back in here punting against the team he wanted to play for. Here's the 52-yard attempt by Win Lyle. Out of the job, and now you see why Auburn takes the lead on the 52-yard Win Lyle field goal. Auburn leads 3-0. And remember, the first period in this game very big. Since 1978, the team that has been ahead at the end of the first quarter has never lost since 1978. 9:30 remaining in the first. Auburn has drawn first blood.
They've been fairly successful in their first two games in the first quarter. They've led in scoring 42-3 in their first two games. So they have not really been in a 60-minute football game yet, and I know that's got to be a minor concern for the Auburn coaches.
Number 8 is Chris Knapp. He's the senior who had the place-kicking job, and he now kicks off for Auburn. At the 15-yard line, Roland Poles, the wingman, the fullback. To the 32.5-yard line. Good field position for Tennessee. Notice they kicked away from the deep back for Tennessee because he's very dangerous back there. Any of these speed merchants can rip it, but so can Poles. So the Volunteers now have their first opportunity with offense, and Jeff Francis comes out. He's completing about 55% of his passes, 2 touchdown tosses, 1 interception. He was the MVP of the Liberty Bowl last year. 1st and 10, Tennessee. Fake to Cobb. Plenty of time. It's intercepted. Picking it off, 45, Greg Staples. Down to the 39-yard line of the Volunteers. We talked about the importance of turnovers. The pass thrown high, tipped, and then into the arms of junior Greg Staples.
They cleared it out here with the flanker, Bob, as they fake it to Reggie Cobb underneath, hitting the split end, coming across. The ball is thrown high. Harper should have made that catch, though, and here's Greg Staples. Harper coming across the middle. Cheatham letting him go. Finds the open area. The ball thrown high, but they should have caught that one. Now, Staples makes the interception. Second interception of the year. He's taking the place of Shan Morris.
We talked about the importance of turnovers. Auburn gets the first one. James Joseph, penalty markers down. Joseph goes to the 32-yard line, tackled by 33, Keith DeLong. So Tennessee getting a taste of their own medicine on that particular play. Tennessee ranked high nationally in the turnover giveaway ratio. Auburn doing pretty well themselves, but as we said, they haven't been tested yet. Well, they're getting tested today, and so far Auburn has an A. There you look at the comparison between Auburn, a +3, and that's certainly not bad. But Tennessee, +7. Now, that's updated for Auburn. That's +3 after that interception. The penalty takes Auburn back to the 44-yard line, holding on the call.
Now, from a Tennessee standpoint, here's where you have to stand in there. One of the important things is once the offense gets some momentum from a turnover, you have to get out there and take the ball away from them again, keep them off the board. Don't let the thing get out of hand early.
First down, 15 Auburn from the 44-yard line of Tennessee following the Greg Staples interception. Not much that time, about 3 yards for Curtis Stewart. Still outside the 40-yard line. 8:37 to go in the first period. Auburn leading 3-0 on a 52-yard field goal. Auburn had driven to the Tennessee 15, but thanks to a penalty and good Tennessee defensive plays, Win Lyle, the 18-year-old freshman kicker, had to try one 52 yards away. Now second down 12 from the Tennessee 41. Auburn in the spread formation. Stewart, Vincent Harris in the backfield. Berger. Incomplete. Tried to get it out to Scott Bolton, the senior from Theodore, Alabama, at the 35.
3rd and 12. We talked about the receivers from Auburn as we watched Scott Bolton here running just a little sideline pattern. They had Curtis Stewart heading up the seam in case of a too-deep zone. They thought they could get one in over the top. Tennessee is going to give Berger a lot of different looks. He doesn't see much in practice because Auburn always lines up in a double zone, and the teams they played thus far have played a man-to-man and 3 deep, and that's it.
Auburn with receivers all over the field on the 3rd down and 12. Look at this! Berger goes down at his own 38-yard line. Oh, my. The center is sophomore John Hudson, a 20-yard loss. Once, as we say so often, the only time the offensive center will get recognition is on a bad snap or a fumble. John Hudson certainly got some there. A tremendous loss for Auburn, taking them. They had started this after the interception return at Tennessee's 39. Now they're back at the Auburn 39. Here's Schulman, the punter. Averages 42 yards. Kramer is back to get it. Great game time. Kramer fair catches it at the 21-yard line. Auburn leads 3-0. Tennessee just dodged a bullet, folks. 7:20 to go. Quarter number 1. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Obviously, this is always a big conference game with Auburn and Tennessee. A lot of people think this year it may even have more significance because Tennessee's got a shot.
Because Tennessee only plays Auburn and Alabama and Ole Miss in the top group. I know what you're saying. Of course, Kentucky's playing pretty well right now, but I think it's more important for us than it is Tennessee because we've got the end of our season playing Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Not to mention Florida State. I was putting it to Pat like, Tennessee gets by you. They have a pretty easy road, Pat. Without saying it, he understood exactly what we were talking about. If Auburn gets past Tennessee, Auburn's still looking at a meat grinder. William Howard, Keith Davis in the backfield for Tennessee. This pass is complete. It is to Davis. First down to the 33-yard line. Keith Davis, the junior from Nashville. Edward Phillips with the tackle. Reggie Cobb, Davis was playing for on that play, is the redshirt freshman everybody's talking about here. The receivers for Tennessee are good, but not as good as Auburn this year. You can't say that very often. Tennessee often thought of as receiver university. A solid offensive front for Tennessee. 1st and 10 from the Volunteer 33. Francis. It's a nice catch out at the 42-yard line by number 5, Thomas Woods.
Beautiful catch by Woods, and Francis saw something he'll see a lot. You're going to see Andre Bruce getting picked up by William Howard, and he'll be in Jeff's face all day long in passing situations. Nice catch, good extension, way to get your feet down, Woods.
Now, opportune time for Tennessee. Second down, short yardage from their own 42. Auburn leading 3-0. We're in the first quarter. Play fake again. They're going long, looking for number 4, Terrence Cleveland. Everybody overthrown. Alvin Briggs, number 4 for Auburn, was back there all the way. Let's look at this great Auburn defensive team. Tracy Rocker, a first-round NFL draft choice. You can bank on that. Benji Roll and Nate Hill are also good, and Stallworth, off the injury, is back to play some. Andre Bruce, people compare him to Cornelius Bennett from Alabama. He's 6'6" and speedy. And Greg Staples, the man who stepped in for the injured Shane Morris, he's the man who had the interception early. First down, Volunteers. William Howard, the fullback, number 35. And Howard last year had 84 yards against Auburn. He may play a bigger role in this game today.
And I think you're right, Bob. I think they're going to have to do some damage inside. Bruce is going to be hard to get around. They've got an excellent secondary. Tennessee strong up front. They're going to have to take advantage of that inside running.
3 receivers for Tennessee, but they give it to Howard. is 240 pounds inside Auburn territory to the 47 or 8-yard line. 39, Kurt Crane, the Auburn inside linebacker with the stop. And I like the line in the paper, Tim, about William Howard. It said he's like a big Cadillac sitting in your driveway with a big V8 engine and full of gas, and it's only been for a trip around the block. Maybe it's time to take him on a long drive.
Of course, he led the SEC in scoring last year, and he's tough and close, tough on those short yardage situations.
Second down 5. Not much this time. That is short yardage, about 1 yard. He was hit by Brian Smith and Tracy Rocker. 74, Tracy Rocker, the junior from Atlanta.
And he's been a starter since he was a freshman. Good heads-up player. As a matter of fact, as a freshman, he led the SEC in tackles for a down lineman. 7 sacks last year, and he's as good as they come. Legitimate All-American.
Third down 4, Tennessee from the Auburn 46. 5:27 to go, quarter number 1. Auburn leading 3-0. Play fake. Francis in trouble. He gets the first down. Andre Bruce chased him down. Francis takes it to the 39-yard line of Auburn. Francis certainly not known for his running, but he scrambled out of trouble that time.
Jeff Francis really emerged last year as a quarterback that could take control of an offense. Walt Harris was really proud of his development, and this year he's hitting his stride again.
First down Tennessee. Francis with a checkoff at the line. Gives it to the freshman. Reggie Cobb gets about 3. At the 37, he was hit by Kurt Crane. Kurt Crane's second tackle of the day. Problem if you're an offensive team with Auburn, if you get past one of those great down linemen, you're looking at Bruce, Crane, Phillips, Mitchell. Those linebackers are excellent also.
Staples and Cheatham will send you to the dentist in a hurry, too. You know, they'll rock your molars to the dentist.
Second down 7 from the 37. Here's Cobb, the freshman. Inside the 35 to the 34, Brian Smith, the left outside linebacker. You talk about depth, Brian Smith would be a starter for about anybody in the nation at 6'6", 250, and he's fast at the outside linebacking spot.
They are really impressive. Both of us on different days ate at the training table at Auburn, and just looking around at those folks, they've got a stable full of great athletes there.
Third down 3 Tennessee from the 33 of Auburn. First down. Down to the 27-yard line of Auburn. Carlo Cheatham tripped up the quarterback. Auburn doing a great job of covering the receivers, but leaving the opportunity for the first down run open.
You see the linebackers come up in there. Ed Phillips was blitzing, trying to get some extra pressure. Auburn had not blitzed this year to date. They hadn't had to. There's no sense in taking a chance if you don't need to. They're going to have to try to get some pressure on Francis. They've always been able to do it with Bruce, Rocker, Rowland, and Hill.
Hand off for about 6 yards to William Howard, the fullback. He gets to the 24-yard line, a gain of about 5, let's call it. 3:17 to go in the first quarter. Auburn leads 3-0, but Tennessee on the drive.
Major's talking to Doug Matthews there, headset on.
Reggie Cobb, Charles Wilson in the backfield for Tennessee. Wilson is 32, the senior fullback. Out wide to Harper. Auburn plays it well, but Harper makes a couple of good moves. Doesn't get a lot out of it, though. Back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little more. Nate Hill, number 99, with a stop.
And they'll throw that play to the side of Andre Bruce. Want him to rush, throw it in there behind him. The key for the defensive backs on that particular operation is the offensive tackle. If he starts running out toward him, they better start hitting him, because there's a lot of traffic in a hurry. Andre Bruce, the most valuable player in the state high school tournament. He's a great athlete.
Third down 6. Tennessee has completed 3 third down conversions. Francis running again. He gets it again. Jeff Francis was tackled by Tracy Rocker. Tennessee converting on third down against this Auburn Tiger defense.
the strength of Andre Bruce here. He comes across, and he's the reader in this case. Got the pitch man. He should have forced the pitch and then taken the pitch man. Walt Harris kidded about running the option, and I just smiled at him inanely. Here he comes out with it. Converts the third down situation.
I haven't seen you smile inanely before. Here's the handoff to Cobb inside the 15, but not by much.
The idea was, Walt, who you kidding? Jeff Francis run the option. He can throw the ball, but he's really not nimble of foot. But they did run it 7 times against Colorado State, and I think they just wanted to show it. And they're not going to use it often, but they just want the defensive coordinator, Wayne Hall, for Auburn, to be concerned about containment.
1:17 to go, quarter number 1. Auburn leading 3-0 on a 52-yard field goal. Tennessee in field goal territory now. It's the 15th play on this drive. Second down. Here they come after Francis. Down he goes at the 23, and it was the quarterback Kevin Porter, along with a host of white-shirted Tigers, who blitzed in from the defensive left side.
Kevin Porter switched right at the last moment. Good disguise by the secondary from Auburn. Cheatham went over and took his man. Staples backed out. Porter came clean. Francis wasn't able to get out of there in time.
Both teams have come up with big quarterback sacks defensively when the offense got inside the 20-yard line. Now Tennessee pushed back for a 3rd and 16. Auburn had one in a similar situation about 30 minutes ago. Bruce offside, Francis running. The whistle sounded before the play started. Bruce was in Tennessee territory. Pat Dye saying, what happened there? We'll find out in a moment. Jimmy Harper, the man in the white hat, you'll see in the striped shirt in the white hat, the other white hat is worn by Pat Dye, is our referee today. And here comes the signal. His microphone not working due to some microwave interference, as I understand from our crack technical crew at CBS Sports. So we'll just interpret for you. Offside. Auburn, 5 yards, 93 on Andre Bruce.
Bruce concerned about his alignment, lined up wide on the left. They kicked him inside and lost his concentration. What you don't want to do is beat yourself. You don't want to make mental errors in critical situations.
UT started this drive with 7:20 left in the quarter. It's down to 12 seconds remaining. On 3rd down, Francis running out of there again. Dives to the 12. Had to get to the 7-yard line for the 1st down, so it'll be a field goal situation for the Volunteers. In will come Phil Rich, the junior walk-on from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to try the field goal when we return. That's the end of the 1st quarter. Begin the 2nd quarter trailing 3-0, but with a 29-yard field goal attempt from Phil Rich, who is 5 out of 7 on the year. Didn't even know he was a scholarship player until after he hit the game winner in the kickoff classic against Iowa. He was a walk-on kicker here, but he's been doing very well, as you see. Perfect on the point afters and 5 out of 7 on the field goal department, and his long one of the year was 45 yards against Iowa. This one will be from the right hash mark. It's a 29-yard field goal attempt. Holder for Tennessee, number 12, backup quarterback, Randy Sanders. It's no good. Hooked badly to the left. And the kicking game has already played a big part. A 52-yarder from the Auburn freshman and a miss from Phil Rich. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. Stadium in Knoxville on the banks of the Tennessee River. 93,500 are here today, along with yours truly and Tim Foley. Tim, Tennessee had that football nearly 8 minutes and came away with nothing. What's the significance of that to the Volunteers?
Obviously you want to score points, but I think they've got to be encouraged about their ability to move the ball against this very, very tough Auburn defense.
1st down, 10, Auburn. From the 20. Screened away again. Good moves and great speed. But but he doesn't get past the pursuit of Tennessee. Gets about 7 or 8 out to the 27-yard line. Bryant Hunt, 74, with the tackle. Wagan with deceptive speed. He's not only got the moves enhanced, but the burning speed, too, according to Pat Dye. First quarter statistic story. Well, the turnovers.
Turnover, but it was harmless. Both teams on offense playing very well, playing according to their game plan defensively. Both coordinators trying to figure out exactly what's going on to them, and they'll adjust now.
And Auburn showing the stats they've shown early. 27 yards passing, only 6 running the ball. Nothing this time for 21, Vincent Harris, the sophomore fullback. It'll bring up third and about 3.
One of the things to mention on that opening pass to Wagan at first down play, that was a lateral. And you would just as soon not have that be a lateral. If it's that way, if it's dropped, Wagan drops the ball and it's a lateral. Now it's a fumble. It's a live ball. Tennessee can take it and score.
You know, Auburn still, if you'll notice the 3 and the zeros on the bottom there, Auburn still has given up only 3 points all year. They lead the nation, obviously, in scoring defense out of the wishbone formation. James Joseph broke the tackle, got the first down. It was James Joseph with second effort to get the first down for Auburn. They had him stopped at the 27 or 28.
James Joseph might be their most complete back. He blocks well, catches the football well, and is a hard runner. Ziegler takes him on in the hole, but you notice Joseph maintains his balance, keeps his feet moving, and both he and Curtis Stewart are good after-contact runners.
First down 10 from the 30-yard line. Auburn leading 3-0. Here's Joseph again. About 3 yards off the right guard spot, hit by Keith DeLong. I want to bring that statistic up again I mentioned a little while ago. Since 1978, in this series between Auburn and Tennessee, the team leading at the end of the first quarter has won every game. Auburn leads 3-0.
How long did it take you to remember?
4 days.
I don't think Pat Dye knows that. If he knows it, it's not comforting, I can guarantee you.
Second down 7. 33. This is Harris. Shy of the first down, out to the 38, hit by DeLong. DeLong with 4 tackles today. He's the junior from Lawrence, Kansas, number 33 for Tennessee. One of the inside linebackers along with Ziegler. Darren Miller and Mike Kelly are the outside linebackers. DeLong's dad, an All-American here at the University of Tennessee, Steve DeLong.
They talk about the Auburn running game. Don't get the feeling they limped in here. Both Vincent Harris and Harry Mose are averaging over 6 yards a carry.
Third down 3, Tigers. Stewart, no, he does not get it. Tennessee was there. He lost a yard or maybe more on the play. Brian Kimbrough, 55, the man for Tennessee.
Kimbrough in there backing up Mike Kelly. They alternate on one of the linebacker positions on the outside.
Auburn leading 3-0. 11:31 to go in the first half. 77 degrees here in Knoxville. Shulman with a cannon shot. Kramer from his 10. No protection. Takes it up the middle. Gets a few yards, but not much. Down at the 17-yard line. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. Well, that's going to make Tim easier to get along with today, at least for the moment. On the first down, the pass goes incomplete. Intended for tight end Nate Middlebrook. So Purdue with a lead over Notre Dame, Tim. Cheer up. It's looking good for the Boilermakers.
Yeah, it is.
We're nervous over that.
Real good. I told them not to put that score up. As long as we're ahead, put it up. That's all right.
It'll be second down 10 here for the Tennessee Volunteers from their own 17-yard line after a 54-yard punt by Brian Shulman. So the special teams, we said the kicking game would come into play here, Tim, and it's been significant already.
Well, Tennessee misses a chip shot. Auburn nails a 52-yarder. And Shulman boomed that punt, which backed Tennessee up, making a difference.
Second down 10. Not much. Maybe a yard. Robert Goff, number 98 from Bradenton, Florida, the senior for Auburn, making the stop. Auburn with depth. They're too deep at virtually every defensive position with quality players.
If you run away away from Locker, you're running into Hill and Bruce, and Goff and Rowland both do an excellent job at the nose guard position, and it's tough to throw in their secondary. So it's going to have to be individual effort by specific people on the offense that generate some big plays for Tennessee and working it inside.
Tennessee's been successful on third down conversions, but this is third down 8. Let's see. No, down at the 10, coming right up the chute is 98 Robert Goff. Loss of 9 yards. And now Tennessee's going to have to call on their punter to get him out of a hole.
See Goff working on the center. That's just miscommunication right there. I think Todd Kirk thought he had some help to the right, but the right guard Bruin had turned out. Nobody there. Sacked.
Bob Garman averages 43.3 yards per punt. Tennessee gives up only about 4.5 yards on the punt return. But number 14, Freddie Wagan, returns it on an average 26 yards a pop. Fair catches this one wisely. It's inside Tennessee territory at the 41.5-yard line, and only a 31-yard punt by Schulman. Because of momentum, the referee didn't call a timeout on the commercial break there, and they tried to go to Wagan deep, and that's one of the reasons they don't take the commercial break, because after a good opportunity sometimes a team likes to come back and strike quickly. That's what Auburn tried to do to Wagan.
They handed the ball to the fullback. He hit up into the line and then flipped it back to Jeff Berger. And Freddie Wagan is the surest-handed receiver that Auburn has. Joseph flips it back wide open as the Tennessee defense had attacked. Wagan drops the football. You won't see that happen often.
Second down 10, Auburn from the 42-yard line following the punt from Garman of only 31 yards. Incomplete. Tennessee stripped it loose. Was intended for tight end Walter Reeves at about the 37. It'll be third down 10, Auburn. Cedric Klein keyed the play for Tennessee, number 30, the sophomore from Loudon, not far from Knoxville, his hometown.
Trick plays like that, you got to take advantage of them when you have the chance. I can remember playing Seattle and watching Steve Largent fly by me on one of those, right? But the quarterback didn't put it on the money, and so, as you mentioned before, you dodge a bullet.
Third down 10, Auburn from the Tennessee 42-yard line. Berger, what a time. Incomplete. He wanted to get Lawyer Tillman, and Berger overthrew Tillman much in the same fashion as Jeff Francis did on the Tennessee first play of the game. But Tennessee does not get the interception. Tillman can't handle it.
You see him working against McDaniel there. He turns him over to the inside, and the Tennessee linebackers had not done a good job, had not gotten much depth. That ball should have been completed.
Schulman winning the kicking battle here. Garman with only a 31-yarder. Schulman handles the low snap well. He's going to try to get this one to drop inside the 10. It's called a pooch kick. And it's knocked out of bounds by Auburn at the 5-yard line, and that's where Tennessee will take over the ball. Knocking it out, number 41, Quentin Rogers, is the man it hit off of. Also near the play was 23, Perry Reed. Prior to going out of bounds at the 5, so it was marked dead at the 11-yard line. First down 10, Tennessee. Here is Cobb. He hasn't been able to do much so far today. He squirms for about 4 this time out to the 16. Auburn has had the ball inside Tennessee territory twice, Tim Foley, and the first time they lost 22 yards. The next time, this previous possession, Auburn was unable to gain any yardage at all.
And I think you have to give a gold star to Ken Donahue and his Tennessee defense. They've come up with the plays when they've had to. And they were also, thank the Lady Luck on that Wagan drop pass.
Second down 5. Close to the first down goes William Howard. They'll stop him at about the 20. He's going to be a yard and a half short of the first down. So Tennessee will have a third down short yardage situation with 8:36 to go in the first half here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Auburn leading 3-0. These two teams have really been sparring early. There's been a turnover, but nothing came out of it. Tennessee had the opportunity to tie, but missed a chip shot 29-yard field goal. The freshman 18-year-old kicker for Auburn, Win Lyle, hit a 52-yarder. And other than that, it's been a case of Auburn dominating in terms of field position, but Tennessee's defense dodging the bullets. Cobb doesn't get it. Andre Bruce with the stop. You see why people think Auburn's defense is possibly the best in the nation. You just can't beat them head up.
See if they can blow them out of there. And you're talking about a strong Tennessee line. Did the ball come out? Looked like the ball came out in that replay. I see.
Here's Wigan, averages 26.6 yards per punt return. He's a game breaker. That's Kansas. Touchdown punt return against Kansas. Almost blocked. Garmin with trouble. Gets a Tennessee bounce, though. What a fortunate break. Wigan wisely got out of the way, and look at this ball roll. To the 18-yard line. 62 yards on the punt, and Garmin barely hit it. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. 7:12 to go, second quarter. Auburn leading 3-0. A 62-yard punt. Wigan should have caught it, Tim.
Couldn't really get to that one. Bad kick, but he got it on the first hop against Kansas and went 69 yards. He slipped as he tried to field that one.
Stewart. Down at the 16. Hit by Keith DeLong. Number 33 for Tennessee.
Let's watch Keith DeLong here. Here, Ken Donahue takes a chance. The guard is supposed to pick him up. Instead, he pulled out. Nobody got to DeLong, and it's a 3-yard loss for Auburn. Puts him in a second and long situation. In this part of the field, that's not where you want to be.
6 minutes, 42 seconds to go in the first half. Auburn, second down, 12 from their own 17, and now the crowd noise. Stewart, hit by 45, Darren Miller, the Tennessee linebacker. Right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
I talked to Pat Sullivan before the game, and during practice they tried to prepare for this closed end of the stadium here. Crowd noise, and they'd have all their reserves stand around and yell and shout and scream and try to create as much commotion as they could to try to prepare their players to hear the audibles in the situation.
Auburn only 1 out of 6 on third down conversions. It is third down 10 from the Tigers, 18. Berger puts it up long. Looks for Tillman, out of bounds, incomplete. Auburn is now 1 out of 7 on third down conversion. Good quarterback pressure by Mark Hovanek. Berger may have had to put it up a little bit early, and now Schulman comes in to punt with his back to the end zone.
Pat Sullivan in the orange jacket was in business in Birmingham, I believe, and just couldn't stand being away. They brought him back as a coach, and I think we're really surprised with his effectiveness.
Tennessee rushing 10. Auburn defends it well. The punt. Kramer is 45. Kramer inside Auburn territory to the 49. And Tennessee gets their best field position of the day. A 37-yard punt, 6-yard return.
You know, in talking about Pat Sullivan, I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying. He's a great player, but there's a lot of great players that don't make good coaches. But he's come in there, worked with Jeff Berger, and taught him some fundamental things in terms of setting up, delivering the football, and also taught him some things about how to think, how to react to the things that he sees on the football field.
We'll be right back to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Great pictures being provided today by our fine TBS Sports crew, Ron Sutton. Timmy Jones, you see there in the picture, high above the field here at Neyland Stadium. First down, 10, Tennessee. Here's the pitch. To the 40-yard line, Reggie Cobb. 8 yards on the pitch for Reggie Cobb. That's his best gain of the day.
Now you can see why defensive coaches' hearts start to throb when this guy's got the ball. Bruce forces the pitch. Quentin Riggins tries to get there. Cobb runs through it. He's just awfully powerful for as fast as he is.
Second down 1, Tennessee. They hand off to Charles Wilson, who gets the first down for the Volunteers to the 38 of Auburn. Auburn leads 3-0. 5 minutes to go in the first half.
You know, there's different kinds of running backs, Bob. There are power backs, which are tough to tackle because of the physical punishment they dish out. And there are backs with great quickness, but once you get your hands on them, they come down easy. The problem is, when you got a guy that's as quick as Reggie Cobb is, but also powerful. He's kind of like an Earl Campbell. You know, if you dig in against him, he'll run around you. If you don't dig in against him, he'll run you over.
Cobb with 24 yards rushing thus far today. First down, 10 Volunteers. Play fake to Cobb. Francis has his complete and out of bounds for the first down at the 27-yard line to Thomas Woods. He was hit by Alvin Briggs, number 4 for Auburn. First down, Volunteers.
Francis is going to read this from the inside out. He's got a little curl in the middle. Linebackers get good depth, so he decides to go all the way. That is a long ball to throw, and it was right on time.
First down, 10 Volunteers. Cobb on the sweep, juggled it momentarily. Look at Auburn's defense, 96. Benji Rowland led the way, a loss of about 3. We talked about Tennessee's difficulty in getting outside Auburn on the running game. I guess it's tough either in or out.
Yeah, but look at this pursuit. Look at all that meat moving laterally. Here they come. You know, Rowland wraps them up, and it doesn't take him long to get a bunch of help. Reggie, at that point, is trying to find the ground.
Second down, 10 from the 27. Number 4, Cleveland to the left side. Francis, short drop. Finds nobody. He's back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Tracy Rocker will get credit for the tackle. And once again, Tennessee now having trouble finding an open receiver as Auburn's just playing very good heads-up defense. Just man-to-man, basically, all the way across the 11-man front.
You know, they play 3 deep, but they played a little tighter underneath. And that time there might have been some confusion in the call because Francis was ready to throw it, but nobody was ready to catch it.
Third down, 10. Tennessee stalling inside the Auburn 30. Francis on the pitch. This is Keith Davis. Nowhere to go. Maybe a yard. Auburn's defense playing superbly inside their own 30-yard line. Now Tennessee's Phil Rich is coming in to attempt another field goal. He missed a 29-yard attempt previously. They are going to spot this one. Let's see, 7 yards from the 27 will be about the 34. It'll be a 44-yard attempt by Phil Rich. He missed the 29-yarder. Sanders the hole. This is a better angle for Sanders. A right-footed kicker would prefer kicking from the left side. Well, he couldn't miss that one anymore. Phil Rich having some problems here today. Tennessee 0 for 2 on field goal attempts, and Auburn leading 3-0 with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. Craig Sager will be in our studios in Atlanta at halftime. We'll also hear performances from the Auburn and Tennessee bands. Both are here performing today. So a big field goal attempt miss by Phil Rich.
Watch Pat Dye in the background there in the white hat. Phil is making some people happy here.
Bill missing a 29-yard field goal attempt. And then a 44-yard field goal attempt. Auburn leads 3-0 on a 52-yarder by the freshman kicker from Auburn, Wynn Lyle. On the 1st and 10. It is complete to Lawyer Tillman to the 44-yard line. Auburn getting out of their own end zone now with 2:20 to go in the half.
In what I've seen, this is Auburn's favorite pattern. Fake the sprint draw. They've got the tight end dragging across shallow. Tillman coming in about 20 yards deep. And Alexander Wright, you just saw his head fly through your screen, was going deep. And Wright can fly. They've got to respect that speed.
Auburn first down. Tigers 45. Marking at the 44-yard line. Berger. Possible audible. It's a draw to Stewart. Mark Hovanek is there. The second tackle. Hovanek's also had 1 sack. We weren't sure if Mark Hovanek was well enough to really play significantly today. But I'd say significant is a good word for his play.
You know, as long as I've been watching Tennessee football, Mark Hovanek has not been well enough to play. He's always had a physical ailment. Shoulder, he had that repaired in the offseason. More recently, it's a knee, but he always seems to come through in big fashion for him.
Second down, 12 Auburn now from the 43-yard line. 1:28 to go in the first half. Tigers 3, Tennessee nothing. Berger completes it to Reeves, the tight end. short of midfield to about the 48. It's going to bring up a third down and long yardage situation. Kelly Ziegler with his fourth tackle. And Berger's going to call timeout. Auburn had 2 remaining, now 1 remaining timeout in this half. Jeff Berger came into this game leading the nation in passing efficiency. He is 7 of 13 for 57 yards today. And Reeves has 3 of those catches for 21. Be sure to join us next week when TBS Sports presents SEC football from right here in Knoxville again as the Golden Bears of California and the Pac-10 invade Neyland Stadium beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time. Superstation viewers catch pregame coverage with College Football Grandstand at 12:15. Well, we said, Tim, you and I both thought it'd be a low-scoring game. Who knows what the second half holds, but it's 3-0 Auburn here early on, and we're watching 2 very good football defenses play on this field today.
This might be the best Auburn team that Johnny Majors has faced, simply because it doesn't have a superstar. And Pat Dye seemed different. He seemed much more relaxed without carrying the burden of that Heisman Trophy pressure around, his team bearing that burden. This is a group of players that are good athletes. There are a lot of great athletes on this team, but there's no one that's standing above the rest that you have to keep happy and make sure he doesn't get out of shape. He's got a much more balanced football team than he's had recently.
Auburn only 1 of 8 on third down conversions.
Here they come.
Penalty marker down. Let's see. They say the forward progress is to the 45. That would give Auburn the first down, but let's check the penalty marker. 1 minute remaining in the half.
It's going to be pass interference against Tennessee.
Jimmy Harper, the referee. Again, I'll remind you, his microphone's not working today, so we'll just interpret his signals for you on the official rulings. Defensive holding. The biggest difference in that is the defensive holding happens before the ball is thrown. It'd be interference if the ball's in the air.
McDaniel bump and run on Scott Bolton. Got him hooked. You can jam them. You can use your hands like that as long as they're in front of you. When they get to your side, when they get parallel with you, now you're going to have a problem. The official is there with the flag. A good adjustment by McDaniel. Good jam. But once you hit them, now get off.
First penalty for Tennessee today. 54-53. Clock ticking. Time in the first half on first down. Berger. Over the middle. Complete to the 35-yard line. Auburn has 1 timeout remaining should they choose to use it. They've called 2 plays in the huddle. It's a hurry-up offense. They want to get into Win Lyle field goal range, and if his first kick has anything to do with it, all you need to do is be at about the 30-yard line. Auburn is near there with 30 seconds remaining in the half. Berger doesn't like what he sees, and we have a timeout on the field. It's charged to Tennessee. Tennessee called the timeout. Berger goes over for a conversation, as does DeLong for Tennessee, with 32 seconds to go in the first half, and Auburn leading by a score of 3-0. Johnny Majors, he's been around a long time, 11 years at his alma mater, second in the SEC in seniority to Vince Dooley. Vince is way too young to have been at Georgia 24 years. Pat Dye's third in seniority.
Barber's much too young for Vince to be at Georgia 24 years.
You know what that says to me? The fact that after Vince is 24, the fourth has 6, Claiborne has 6 years. The pressure of coaching in the Southeastern Conference, holding your job here 5 years, is tough.
It's a meat grinder. There's so much competition recruiting players because there's so much tradition in the Southeast. And not that fans aren't demanding everywhere, but they might be a little bit more demanding down here in the Southeast, since everything in Tennessee today is orange. You know, the leaves haven't turned, but that's about the only thing that's not orange in Tennessee.
Look at this one. Purdue in the second quarter. Tim Foley.
How about those Boilers? Hang on.
Second down 4, Auburn. Berger with about a 15-yard drop. It's a screen to Harris. Tennessee read it beautifully. Harris down at the 38. Clock down to 18 seconds, still ticking. Now to 15 and 14. Thus far, Auburn has not chosen to stop the clock. This could be the last play unless Berger just throws it incomplete. Only 5 seconds. Now he calls timeout with a line of scrimmage at the 38. That would be a 55-yard field goal attempt should they decide to do it. And Win Lyle hit a 52 earlier. There's 5 seconds remaining in the half. and Auburn leading 3-0. If you're Pat Dye, you got to consider the field goal opportunity here with only 5 seconds.
The way the kid hit the last one, as long as they're across the 50.
I don't think he is, however. Berger talking on the sideline. With 5 seconds remaining in the half, it has been a defensive struggle. Both defensives have played very, very well. Both of them had opportunities to give up the touchdown and the field goal. And Tennessee's kickers missed 2 opportunities, or Tennessee could be leading 6-3. But in terms of touchdowns, really only one threat, and that was the long pass after the short punt by Tennessee that Berger threw into the end zone intended for Wagan that he couldn't hold on to. And here comes number 6, Win Lyle. He hit a 52-yarder.
I think you have to feel Lyle's got a better chance than just running 5 receivers down the field and throwing it up in the air. When Dye has seen him hit it in practice, hits it well. He's proved that one of the concerns had to be coming in here. He'd never kicked in front of a crowd like this. Obviously, that didn't shake him up much.
I think he likes showbiz. A 55-yard attempt for the 18-year-old from Auburn. The only walk-on player I ever heard of who drives a Mercedes.
Got the distance, Bob.
Oh, my! Win Lyle, 55 yards. The clock ticks down to 0, and that's going to lift the Auburn Tigers because in a defensive game, they know their guy can get it done. We'll be back in a moment. Lead in this game by a score of 6-0. It is an old-fashioned SEC defensive game. Tennessee averaging just over 2 yards a crack rushing. Auburn only about 1. Tennessee's thrown for 34 yards. Auburn for 60. It's just a defensive battle.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what we expected. 2 good defenses going against each other. And as you see, as we go into these highlights, they're not necessarily highlights, but they're what has happened in the football game up until this point. You see Tennessee's defensive line begin to move right before the snap, trying to confuse Berger, disguise the coverage. Auburn came out throwing the football on first down. Little zone pattern. That's a play pass. Reeves crossing. Joseph hooking at 5 yards. And that's what Berger's had to look at. He's been effective throwing the football. Came back. Tennessee had 1 drive, 16 plays. And Jeff Francis made 3 consecutive first downs in passing situation. Good pressure by the defensive line of Auburn. But Francis just found a way to get past that first-yard marker. And that's been the story. It's as even as you can get. 75 total yards for Auburn, 86 for Tennessee, and it should be 6-6. But 2 missed field goals by Tennessee, and that's the story.
And we said that the kicking game would play a big role here. It already has. Watch for that to also be significant in the second half. We'll be back here to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville in just a moment. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. 93,500 at Neyland Stadium. A beautiful afternoon for football in Knoxville, Tennessee, on the banks of the Tennessee River. 80 degrees now as we're ready to begin the second half of play. Auburn leading 6-0 on the strength of 2 50-yard-plus field goals from freshman kicker Win Lyle. Tennessee's kicker Phil Richu, up till today's game, had been very consistent. 5 out of 7 has missed 2, a 29 and a 44-yard attempt. The Alka-Seltzer Plus first half stats. You see that Auburn's had the ball a little more than Tennessee, but everything's pretty even Steven. 1 turnover. Tennessee's Jeff Francis threw an interception, but Auburn did not capitalize on that. Auburn leads here, as we say, 6-0, and both of these teams have had their opportunities, and the field position has been kind of an interesting story. The first half possessions, it's hard to tell exactly what to say about it, Tim. First of all, Auburn's.
And Auburn had 2 excellent opportunities early in the game, but Tennessee's defense answered the bugle, and they knocked them out of there. One time drove them back 22 yards, and the other time kept them off the board.
And Tennessee had some opportunities also, particularly the last time. They got it at Auburn's 48, but missed the field goal. Another time, Tennessee had a big, long 17-play drive, and then the missed 29-yard field goal. Of course, I'm sure one of the things Johnny Majors told the Tennessee Volunteers at halftime is, hey, you're 1 play, a touchdown play, and an extra point conversion away from the lead, despite the fact that we've missed scoring opportunities. It's 6-0 Auburn. And Reggie Cobb will stand at the 3 to take the kickoff from Chris Knapp of the Auburn Tigers. The second half is underway from Knoxville. Cobb at the 8. Down at the 20. Number 43 making the hit was Lamar Rogers, a 13-yard return. So Smokey, the blue tick hound, I'm sure had his own pep talk at halftime. He's under pressure today. He got the towel around his neck.
Get the oxygen out for Smokey.
He's one of those dogs I like. This is a dog that doesn't perspire. Smokey sweats.
And he's a good football mascot, you know? Like a lineman, honorary lineman, Smokey.
First down 10 from the 21. Tennessee trailing 6-0. Opening play of the second half. Play fake. Francis going long. He's got the speed merchant down there. It is complete at the 30 to number 4, Terrence Cleveland. Kevin Porter covering, and Tennessee comes out here with a 49-yard connection. Francis to Cleveland.
Here we go. Let's not waste any time. Fake it to Reggie at the tight end crossing. Split end angling in. You see him coming to your picture, and he gets some air under it. Underthrows the ball a little bit. Porter tries to recover and make the play, but he can't do it. Terrence Cleveland pulls it in. Big game for Tennessee.
That's only his second catch of the year. From the 30, Francis to Cobb. Oh, is he hit? Ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll be Tennessee's ball at the 35. The defensive back for Auburn, Greg Stables, came up and punished Reggie Cobb.
Watch Stables here. He was a transfer from Alabama State. Walked on at Auburn. Pow! Remember when I talked about the dentist? That's what I meant. Those guys will really jar you. Francis wanted to throw that ball sooner, but there was a lineman out in the screen for Auburn, prevented him from doing it. Finally got the ball there. By that time, Staples had reacted up.
Thomas Woods, Terrence Cleveland, Alvin Harper, 3 receivers in there for Tennessee now. They have Reggie Cobb and Charles Wilson in the backfield on second down 14 from the 34. And Jeff Francis calls a timeout. We'll be back to Neyland Stadium after this. Our spotter, Kim Anderson, Alex Vergara with statistics with static today. He gives us an occasional statistic, too. And Nicky Nichols managing our booth on 2nd and 14, Tennessee. Pressure. Francis. Oh, threw it right into the arms of the defensive end, Nate Hill, who was coming on. He wanted to get the pass to Charles Wilson. Almost hit Hill with the ball.
Auburn in a zone defense. He's looking downfield. Francis looking downfield. It's not there. He just goes to dump it off to Wilson, and Nate Hill had kind of felt that developing, drifted out there. Auburn has been, they haven't been scored on in the last 9 quarters, as you can see there. One thing they haven't done well on defense is catching the ball. They dropped 6 interceptions last week against Kansas.
Tennessee 3rd and 14. Francis checking off. What a quick penetration by Auburn. Francis back to the 34. Auburn, what we can say in terms of superlatives for Nate Hill, Kurt Crane, and this Auburn defense.
Well, the amazing thing about that, Bob, is the pressure's coming with 4 people, just 4 people against a superior offensive line. Some people feel Tennessee's got the best offensive line in the SEC. So what does that tell you about Auburn's front?
Now Phil Rich, who's missed 2 field goal attempts, one from a 29-yard line, or from 29 yards away, and the other from 44 yards out, is in to attempt another one. This one will be 51 yards. The long for the year for Rich is 45 against Iowa. He's hit the first 2 very badly. Tennessee has called timeout again. Randy Sanders called it. That's 2 timeouts already early in the 3rd quarter. Tennessee, and this will be significant, mark this down in this close ball game, has 1 timeout remaining for the rest of these 2 quarters.
They had a problem in personnel there. Simons just went out, and you don't know what might have occurred. A chin strap, a shoulder pad, something happened, and it's certainly unfortunate and something that doesn't make Johnny Majors happy. Scoring touchdowns for Tennessee becomes a lot more critical. You know, they probably felt comfortable with their field goal kicker going into the game, but sometimes it's just like if you've got if you're a basketball coach and you got a player that can hit it from anywhere, and all of a sudden you come out and he's not hot today. It's just not his day. That doesn't mean Phil Rich isn't a good field goal kicker. It just means that right now he hasn't found his motion this afternoon, and hopefully for Tennessee fans, he'll discover it here.
They'll forgive him if he hits this one. 51. It's tough. That right hand mark also is an angle for Phil Rich. on-again, off-again life of a kicker. He's a goat in the first half. Phil Rich comes out and hits this 51-yarder, and now for the moment he's all forgiven.
Good job by Sanders getting the ball down. Now look at Rich. He doesn't want to look. He's listening for the roar of the crowd. Yahoo! Take this burden off my shoulders.
From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Phil Rich, the walk-on kicker for Tennessee. So the scoring has been all from the kickers. 6-3 Auburn, 13:28 to go, third quarter. Look at the kickoff by Borgononi, but Weigand elects to return it. Mistake. He's down at the 17-yard line. Tripped up by number 10, Vincent Moore. Now, I say mistake because of the result, but if you're Freddie Weigand, if you're Pat Dye, I think maybe I want him running it.
The other thing is Weigand dropped a touchdown. He let a ball hit the ground and bounce for 30 yards on a punt. And so he's feeling now like, I want to make something happen. I got to do something right here. So he might be pushing a little bit.
Auburn, first down 10 from the 17. To the fullback, Reggie Ware. He takes his 240 pounds out to the 22-yard line. Reggie's a senior from Huntsville. Hobby with the stop for Tennessee. Tennessee's played 6 different defensive linemen today. Hovanek, Hobby, McCray, Hunt, Cooper, Johnson. Time remaining in the third quarter. 3-point game. Auburn 6, Tennessee 3. Second down 5 from the 23. Ware tries the quick opener. He's short of the first down to the 25. It'll be third down, about 3. Ziegler and DeLong making the stop. And Auburn has had problems on conversions, only 2 out of 8 on third down thus far today. Scoring summary, not much to it. Lyle hits a 52-yarder. Lyle hits a 55-yarder. It's 6-0 at halftime, and now Rich from 51 makes it 6-3.
And obviously what's not in the scoring summary is the missed opportunities by Tennessee.
Here's that Neyland Stadium noise. Penalty markers down. Where? First down. Out to the 38, but the penalty markers are at the line of scrimmage and in the Auburn backfield. It looks like James Joseph may have moved. That's a guess on this one. Looked like there was movement in the backfield. Pat Dye played his football at the University of Georgia.
It was James Joseph there that moved, and I think the crowd noise got to him a little bit. You'll see him right on the wing there, number 10. Whoop, just a little bit too soon. That's going to cost you 5 yards. Pat Dye was the captain of the Georgia football team. Coached for 9 years at Alabama, assistant for Bear Bryant for 9 years. Actually worked for Ken Donahue, and now defensive coordinator for Tennessee.
Third down 8 from the 20. 5 defensive backs for the Volunteers. Berger, plenty of time. It's picked off. That's Victor Peppers. Out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Victor Peppers, the senior from Albany, New York, returns it 25 yards. And Tennessee is knocking at the Auburn door. The first interception of the year for Berger.
Just a poor decision here, Bob. A lot of time. Tennessee linebacker, secondary, deep, settling. Peppers is there all the way. As Alexander Wright breaks out, I guess Berger never saw Pepper just laying there underneath. He had that short area, nice catch, and again, a big play by the Tennessee defense as Jeff Francis tries to quiet the crowd here.
From the 13, Reggie Cobb. Just inside the 10-yard line. Give him 3.5 on the carry. Tackled by 93 Andre Bruce.
Victor Peppers. He's on the phone to Kevin Steele, the secondary coach. As a matter of fact, Kevin Steele's dad, secondary coach here at Tennessee, his dad was Larry Blakeney's coach in high school. Larry Blakeney, the offensive coordinator for Alabama.
Second down from the 10. Reggie Cobb only a yard off right tackle Alvin Mitchell, the left outside linebacker, with the stop. So Tennessee now will have it about third down 5. Tennessee needs to get it across the Auburn 3-yard line for the first down.
3 wide receivers in the game for Tennessee. William Howard in the backfield to help protect Francis. We've seen him try 2 things from down here, Bob. The fade to the outside receivers or an isolation to the slot. Trying to get him to cross. Trying to get him, the defender lost in the traffic.
Picked off by Francis. The draw to Cobb. Touchdown, Tennessee! Point after. It's perfect. With 10:20 to go in the third quarter, for the first time in the game, Tennessee has taken the lead, 10-6.
Let's watch Todd Kirk, 66, 76, Harry Galbraith, Kevin Simons, lead blocker William Howard. William Howard comes here, cleans up. Carlo Cheatham coming over. Tried to make the stop, couldn't get his head in front, couldn't wrap him up. Reggie Cobb runs through for his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and they're going to learn to love him here in Knoxville over the next 3 years.
And everybody was talking about Leroy Thompson, the great high school back who went to Penn State. Well, they're not talking about him much in Knoxville now. Reagan bobbles the kickoff in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Out to the 20-yard line for Auburn, trailing 10-6. And now Auburn is really has 2 problems. One is they trail in the game, but Auburn now is going to deal with a fired-up crowd of 93,500 in Knoxville.
We talked about the offense playing conservative, staying close, trying to run it inside, waiting for that opportunity that this defense may eventually give them. The opportunities that the defense has given them in the past whenever they've been good. Peppers comes up with the interception. They take advantage of it. This Auburn football team's got heart. Let's see how they respond.
The fullback to the 24-yard line. Vincent Harris, the sophomore fullback. And you noticed a moment ago the statistics about who has the most yardage. We've been talking about Auburn's awesome defense, but Tennessee has been playing tough. Watch them again.
They actually gave up fewer yards in the first quarter. As you see, Ziegler, the long hustling to get there. They try to keep those fellas free. They keep the front 3 moving around, trying to grab offensive linemen to keep Ziegler and DeLong moving laterally.
Second down 6 from the 23. Quick handoff to Harris. Into the backfield. Down he goes. It's 77. Richard Cooper with the stop for Tennessee.
And Cooper beats Stacy Searles here. See it right in the center of your screen. He just stands up Stacy. Stacy's got that problem with the hand, the broken hand. He's got pins in there, and there's a lot of pain. And in frustration, he kind of jumps on Richard Cooper. But Cooper has got the potential to be a great player. He's trying to develop more consistency in his play.
Time remaining in the third quarter, 9 minutes, 10 seconds. Tennessee leads 10-6. Third down 6, Auburn. James Joseph gets the first down. Big run by James Joseph. He dives forward to the 31-yard line. Ziegler with his 6th tackle of the day for Tennessee. So Auburn keeps the drive alive. And Joseph has 47 yards on the day in 6 carries. Coming into this game, Joseph had only 42 all year in 2 games.
And he's gone almost the whole way. Scooby Stewart's played in there. We haven't seen Harry Mose yet, and he's Mr. Electricity in this Auburn backfield.
Here's Joseph on the pitch. Hit at the line of scrimmage, dives forward for about 1. Knifing in from the defensive backfield, strong safety, number 30, Cedric Klein.
You know, I talked to Kevin Steele, who's the coach of the defensive backs, about Cedric Klein, and of course he had his first start against Iowa and made several plays like that, and I thought it was rather aggressive blitzing the safety as much as they did. And he said, we didn't blitz him. He just does a good job reading the run and gets up there.
Second down 9 from the 21. Auburn trailing 10-6 now, midway through the third quarter. Berger completes it to Harris out of the backfield. Harris goes out of bounds near the 44-yard line. Made the play on 86, Terry McDaniel. That was a gain of 12 yards. And Auburn moving the ball. They started it at their 20.
This is the first time this year that this particular Auburn team has been behind, obviously, after having had the first touchdown scored on them all year, just moments ago. But this is a veteran team. They've got good players, solid players. They fought back in the past, and that's what they're doing right now.
On the first down, fullback Reggie Ware. He drives hard. He was hit at the 45 and drives all the way out to the 50. David Johnson finished him off for Tennessee.
And he's a 240-pound plow horse right there. You give that rascal the ball, and it's painful to get in his path.
We talk about the great tailbacks in the Southeastern Conference this year, and there are a bunch of them. How about the fullbacks? Reggie Ware, Vincent Harris, Willie McGrady at the University of Florida. Tennessee's got a couple of good ones themselves in Howard and freshman Roland Cole. Some big truckloads. Ware to the 49, short of the first down. Reggie Ware, the senior. He's from Huntsville, Alabama.
You see Tracy Rocker there, Benji Rowland, number 96. We mentioned before they'd had two fairly soft opponents. They put their first two opponents away early on. This is the first time that Auburn's had to play 60 minutes of football. They're a well-conditioned outfit, though.
On third down 3 from the Tennessee 49. Ware driving for the first down to the Tennessee 45-yard line. And Keith DeLong was his 8th tackle of the day. These Tennessee linebackers have been, we said at the beginning of the game, they are keys in the sense that if you run inside, they're the men in position to have to make the play.
Mike Whitehead, David Johnson come out as Ken Donahue is rotating those down linemen, giving them a break. Like Cooper and Hunt came in.
First and 10, Auburn from the Tennessee 45. Tennessee leads 10-6. Berger, it's complete to Lawyer Tillman at the 30-yard line. First down, 15-yard completion. Ziegler with the tackle. Lawyer Tillman back for his first action since having a deep thigh bruise.
It's a tough play for linebacker. You see Ziegler, number 49. You see that play action. Now turn around and run, Kelly. You try to back up out of there, you're never going to get enough depth. You know if there's play action directly behind the center, someone's going to be crossing over the middle. They're trying to suck up those linebackers. Good catch by Tillman.
From the Tennessee 30. Harris, quick opener to the 22. Give him 8. Mike Kelly with the tackle. Auburn, a very poised veteran drive. After giving up the lead for the first time in the ball game to Tennessee on the Reggie Cobb touchdown run, Auburn took it at their 20, and they have methodically rammed it down Tennessee's throat. But how many times have we seen the Tennessee defense bend inside the 20s? Let's see what happens here. It's at the 22 of Tennessee, second down, Auburn. 11th play of the drive. Double tight ends for the Tigers. Joseph with the first down to the 18-yard line.
See, this is the thing that Pat Dye is familiar with. The last half of his stay at Alabama, they went to the Wishbone. He carried it to East Carolina, where he turned that program around. Went to Wyoming. They had a winning season out there. Brought it to Auburn. And he's used to this 3- and 4-yard stuff. He doesn't get in a hurry. He gets behind. He knows he's got the ability to come back. He's patient.
From the 18-yard line of Tennessee, first down, Auburn. Ware near the 15-yard line. Not much on first down that time, about 3 yards.
The play that most teams like to run down here is that sprint draw, fake the sprint draw, try to get the flanker down the middle, try to get one receiver at least into the corner somewhere.
Interesting, Auburn on this drive, 10 rushing plays, 2 passing. Auburn has been a passing-oriented team thus far in 1987. Second down, 7. Joseph broke a tackle, gets to the 10, about a yard and a half short of the first down. Tony Nelson with a stop. Now, we talk about Joseph not being a fast tailback. He certainly has the nice move, as you saw there. Good off-the-ball acceleration.
You're going to see Keith DeLong run through there, 33, runs through, just can't make it. Got to get your head in front. It's awfully hard to break the momentum of the back as strong as Joseph. Watch DeLong. He's coming on the snap, coming underneath, almost makes the big play.
Third down 2 from the 10. Full house. Harris scrambling close to the first down. He was hit at about the 9, but I believe Harris scrambled forward far enough to get the first down. There may be a measurement. First down Auburn. They spot the ball just inside the 8-yard line of Tennessee. First down goal. Tennessee leading 10-6. In the first half, neither team could score a touchdown. Here in the third quarter, Tennessee scored, and now Auburn knocking at the door. Wagan splits wide to the right. Double tight ends. Out of the eye, Joseph. And fullback Ware. Ware to the 6.
Wagan's their best receiver down in close. He's the best receiver they have when the ball is in the air. Great body control. He made a one-handed catch against Kansas on a fade that was just a remarkable grab. He's got the athletic ability, and he's got a good understanding of the concept of pass coverage, and he's got the ability to get open down here. Working against Terry McDaniel here. Most folks know is Tennessee's #1 defensive back.
Second down goal from just outside the 6. Joseph on the sweep. Has nowhere to go. Look at his second effort inside the 5. To the 4-yard line where it will be third down goal Auburn. Joseph was hit at about the 6.5.
They've had such great running backs at Auburn. It's all of a sudden you get someone with average ability and your bottom lip is sticking out. You pout. There are some teams that would love to have the running backs that Auburn has, but they're used to Brett Fullwood and Bo Jackson and James Brooks.
Third down goal from the 4. Tennessee defense backs to the wall. Tennessee leads 10-6.
Open.
To Joseph, touchdown, Auburn! That was Joseph's first touchdown reception.
Defensively down here, the thing you're concerned about is somebody getting picked. They bring Duke Donaldson in motion. You see him in a collision with the volunteer player. That's the guy that was supposed to be covering James Joseph.
Auburn with the lead 12-10. Win Lyle for the point after. Has been perfect on the season so far. Is perfect again. And it is 13-10. Auburn by 3 with 1:55 to go in the third quarter. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Duke Donaldson, number 29, has actually come back in motion, waiting for the snap count. And his job is going to be to try to work his way back across the field, supposedly. Actually, his job is to screen off number 45, Darren Miller, who's supposed to be covering number 10, James Joseph. Duke Donaldson does his job, touchdown.
James Joseph catches only the third pass of that drive. It was for a touchdown. It was all running. 14 running plays, 3 passing plays for Auburn.
Now, if an official thinks that was deliberate, he's supposed to throw a flag. Now, that's offensive pass interference.
Cobb at the 14. Not a bad return in heavy traffic out to about the 28-yard line. Auburn has regained the lead. They led 6-0 at halftime. Tennessee stormed back, got the touchdown, took the lead. Now Auburn with a beautiful drive. Well executed, methodical, powerful 17 plays. Of the 17, 14 were running plays, keyed by the running of Ware and Joseph.
And 8 minutes and 25 seconds of the silent crowd as Auburn just worked its way down the field. Taking this crowd out of the game is really an important aspect of it.
From the 27, Tennessee, first down 10. Francis streams it to the right side. That's Terrence Cleveland. Cleveland about 5. Tennessee loves to get it out to the receiver. The problem is the man they really love to have catch that ball, Anthony Miller, is still hurt.
This is a play that has made Tennessee a lot of yards over the last several years. Quick screen to the flanker. Look at Brian Smith out there. How'd you get here that fast? In the 6'6", look at him move. And that's what you got to do. You just got to pursue. Pursue like a wild man, because when Cleveland gets the ball, anything can happen in a hurry.
Second down 5, Tennessee from the 31. They go to Keith Davis. First down and more to the 42. Keith Davis, the senior, who's now in the role of relieving the freshman Reggie Cobb with a big first down run for Tennessee.
Great job by number 98, Robert Goff, closing the trap. Now Keith Davis senses it's not inside and pops it upfield.
Both of these teams, offensive coordinators, have inspired their offensive teams, because Auburn with that 80-yard drive, and now Tennessee looking as though they're on the move. And Tennessee just used its last timeout. That will come back to haunt the Volunteers. You can count on it. With 51 seconds to go in the third, Jeff Francis calls the last Tennessee timeout. We're going to our studios in Atlanta now for this college football update.
An update on Gordy Lockbaum from Holy Cross. He comes out of the backfield, gets the pass from Jeff Wiley, then finds his way into the end zone. His 26th career touchdown. It is by reception. This is 28-0. Gordy Lockbaum, the Heisman Trophy candidate from Holy Cross. Back to Bob and Tim.
Old-fashioned college football game here in Knoxville. Auburn 13, Tennessee 10. But, Tim, I don't know when I remember a game of this importance when a team has used up their timeouts this early.
I'm really not sure if they're having a problem with communication with the signals, or they get to the line of scrimmage. Tennessee's called so many plays from the line of scrimmage. Not really sure what's going on with that. Whatever it is, they didn't get it worked out.
Fumble, and it's recovered by Auburn. Nate Hill falls on it. Tennessee in a state of offensive confusion the last two plays after having moved the ball well.
Just totally out of sync with Cobb. Never does get the ball. In that situation, Jeff ought to just wrap it up, go down, give up. Hang on to the football. Hang on to it. I guess Cobb tries to take it from him, and it ends up on the ground.
Second Tennessee turnover of this ball game, a fumble and an interception. Auburn had the ball on two occasions in the first half inside Tennessee territory, didn't score on either one of those occasions. Let's see what they do here, leading 13-10. Here's the reverse.
Pass.
It's a flea flicker. It's Donaldson. Incomplete. Almost picked off by Tennessee at the 7-yard line. It was Terry McDaniel who read it well and came up to get it. Donaldson with the fake reverse and then the pass.
Tillman heading down the middle of the field, now back out toward the sideline. It wasn't there. And when it's not there right away, the best thing to do is tuck it down now and see how much ground you could make. Way to get up McDaniel. Here's Tillman. Cuts down to the inside, trying to play possum, but McDaniel's a sharp player, and he smelled it and is in great position here. I mean, he's 50 yards down the field. Old Duke's got to have quite an arm to get it down that far.
Second down 10, Auburn from the Tennessee 40. Here comes Benson Harris. Look at the nice blocking. About 7 yards for Harris. Klein with the stop. You know, the maligned Auburn offensive line has represented itself well, particularly here in the second half. Now third down short yardage for Auburn. Big third down defensive stand coming up for the Volunteers. That's the time remaining, 15 and 14 seconds in the third quarter. Tennessee trailing Auburn 13-10. There's going to be no further play in the third quarter. We'll take a timeout and go to the final 15 minutes. Stay with us from Knoxville. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. Ready to begin the fourth quarter now from our vantage point in the new press facilities here at Neyland Stadium. Tim, what happened to Tennessee? They were moving the ball, and then the timeout, and then the confusion.
Just a lack of communication. You don't want to get up to the line of scrimmage and be uncertain about what you do, so they called timeout. The only problem was they were still uncertain about what they're going to do. They ran into each other in a big turnover.
3rd and 3 Auburn, full house backfield. The give to Ware. He doesn't get it. Tennessee comes up with a big defensive play. It was 82, Charles Kimbrough, who made the stop.
Let's watch Kimbrough coming from his linebacker position, filling in there. Good job by the down lineman. Up back. Curtis Stewart missed the block. Kimbrough nails fullback.
And Auburn with a 4th down and nearly 2 decides they can get it. James Joseph, Reggie Ware, and double tight ends. Stewart gets the first down. Stewart was the 3rd back. He gets inside the 30 to the 29. You get Joseph and Ware, the 2 tight ends, blocking and that good offensive lineman. This is what happens.
Good job of running here by Stewart. Kelly Ziegler makes contact in the backfield. Normally he's going to make that stop, but Stewart runs right through it. Again, we've talked about these. Watch Kelly Ziegler here. He got his head in front. Good position. Now wrap him up. Says Scooby-Doo.
You said you like the way Stewart runs after contact. There it is. On the first down 10. Ware tripped up at the line of scrimmage, gets about 3. Auburn leads 13 to 10. And now they have the ball in this good field position thanks to the exchange problems between Jeff Francis and Reggie Cobb when Tennessee ran into some offensive confusion. There was a fumble. Auburn fell on the ball, and now they've driven it to the Tennessee 27-yard line, where it is 2nd down 7. Wagan, the lone split end, comes out to the left side for Auburn. Harris, the fullback. Nice hole. First down. Inside the 18-yard line goes Vincent Harris. McDaniel chased him out. A nice hole for Harris as he swept out wide to the right side.
Walter Reeves, number 86. Walter Reeves. This is the name of my father-in-law, but this ain't him. Walter Reeves, number 86, has done an excellent job blocking all year long for him at the point of attack. And to have a good running attack from this style of offense, you have to have a tight end that can control that strong linebacker. Walter's doing it.
No wonder you're such a big fan of Walter Reeves. That's why. First down 10 from the 18. I've won. Fumble. Berger fell on it. At about the 19. Exchange problem there. It'll be 2nd down and 10 now for Auburn. 13:09 to go in the game. Tigers 13, Tennessee 10. By the way, I want to take just a moment and pass along a message from our spotter, Kim Anderson, to his mother, Shirley, who's recovering in Stormont Vale Hospital in Topeka, Kansas, watching the game today. We send our best wishes along for speedy recovery.
Hope she gets better quick. Raising Kim could have taken its toll on anybody.
2nd down 12. Auburn from the 20. Harris. What second effort. He was hit about 4 times. He goes to the 7. First down goal. 12 yards. It'll be close to the first down. We may have to measure, but it's right at the first down marker. Referee Jimmy Harper said no measurement required. It is a first down. Harris, low center of gravity, never lost his balance. That was the key to that run.
He's averaged 6 yards a carry. He's done well when he's been in the football game. Scored 2 TDs on the ground, 1 TD and a screen pass.
Now Auburn with a little problem getting the correct lineup in there. Now they have it, full house backfield, 1st and goal. Ware driving to the 2-yard line. Auburn muscling Tennessee on the last 2 drives. The 80-yard touchdown drive, and now the shorter drive because of the Tennessee fumble. But Auburn just beating them head up right there in the line of scrimmage.
Anybody got a question about whether Auburn can go 60 minutes? They're answering that right now.
It'll be 2nd down goal from the 2 Auburn. They lead 13-10. 11:40 to go in the game. Ware. Touchdown, Auburn! Reggie Ware with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. He's been a short yardage touchdown kind of guy for Auburn all along, even in the Fullwood and Bo Jackson years.
Watch this offensive line get moving. Boom. John Hudson doing a good job. Rodney Garner, Searles over on that side. And then Ware does the rest himself.
Win live. The point after. perfect. With 11:33 to go in the ball game, Auburn has now taken a 20-10 lead over Tennessee.
Play in this drive is 4th and 2. Pat Dime makes the decision to go for it. Kelly Ziegler, big play man for the Tennessee defense, has an opportunity here as the play develops. Good block by Garner, number 76, Cyril 60. But Ziegler fights his way through, makes contact. If he wraps him up, it's no first down. This crowd comes to life, and the Tennessee offense comes on the field with a real surge. And instead, Auburn gets 7 points. Good effort by Curtis Stewart.
Cobb at the 10-yard line. Cobb falls down. He could have been gone. It had developed. It was in front of him. He slips on the artificial surface, and I'll bet he wishes it was grass at the 38-yard line.
This wouldn't look good. Good job by Bell. Keith Davis gets a good block there, and now Cobb is in the clear. Looks like his left foot skidded out first, and he went down.
Tennessee with good field position, nevertheless, from the 38, first down 10, trailing by 9. Trailing by 10, 20-10. Francis completes to Harper, broke the tackle. Oh, nice play by the redshirt freshman Alvin Harper, who gets it to the 39-yard line of Auburn. Tennessee fires back a 23-yard completion. Francis to Alvin Harper.
Good protection here for Francis. Harper working down against double coverage on the right side. He comes open late. Francis patient enough to scan back and find a split in. He stays on his feet.
First down 10, Tennessee. Reggie Cobb. Not much happening. Reggie Cobb has been stifled today by this Auburn defense. 13 carries, only 35 yards for Reggie Cobb. Auburn started only 40 yards away after the Tennessee fumble. In the last 2 touchdown drives for Auburn, they've gone back to Auburn kind of football. 23 of 27 plays have been running plays. And Tiger, the War Eagle mascot, is happy, I think. Francis. Oh, how did he thread that needle? I believe the official down there signaled it incomplete because Howard dropped it. Yes, incomplete pass. It'll go back to the 39-yard line. That was a dangerous toss into heavy traffic.
If he wasn't looking for Howard, Howard's job was to suck the linebacker up, and the linebacker played it well. Laid back in, then responded up on the football.
So Tennessee will have it third down 10 now. 10:28 to go in the game. Auburn 20, Tennessee 10. Big third down play for Tennessee here because Auburn has been demonstrating ball possession football in their last 2 possessions. Francis complete to Harper. To the 18-yard line. Cheatham with the stop. First down, Volunteers on a very big third down reception by Alvin Harper, number 81.
Let's watch Alvin Harper here as he works against the Auburn secondary. His zone defense finds the open area. You see Edward Phillips sucked up on that little back that had done a turn at 5 yards and thereby opened up that area behind him. Those linebackers, especially in this time of the game, have to get depth. Get out of there.
First down 10 from the 18. Cobb falls down again. Reggie Cobb facing adversity for the first time in his young career, struggling here in the 4th quarter. Makes you wonder. Now, of course, Johnny Majors believes in this young man, but Tennessee's got Keith Davis, the senior, back there, and Tennessee also has a fellow named William Howard who can play out of the tailback position. So Johnny Majors gets the feeling that maybe he needs somebody else to carry the ball. You can bet he'll make that decision. Second down 10, Tennessee. He's going to Cobb again. Johnny Majors has the feeling that Cobb can get it done. A big run for number 34 to the 6-yard line. A 13-yard ramble.
That time Auburn is bringing the quarterback. You can't see him coming from the left side of your screen. Good job of blocking by number 67, Kevin Simons. Charles Wilson doing an excellent job. Then Reggie Cobb does the rest.
They spot it closer to the 5. First and goal from the 5, Tennessee. Francis with the audible. off Wilson. It would have been a touchdown, but Tennessee jumped offside. Once again, Tennessee with offensive communication troubles here today. That'll cost them. And remember, Tennessee is totally out of timeouts. They used all 3 of them in the third quarter. Illegal procedure, Tennessee.
Offensive line just jumped. Looked like Galbraith just getting a jump on the ball, not actually offside, just beat the ball a little bit. An offensive lineman has got to look in when they get down in that closed area because it's hard to hear the quarterback if you're the center. But if you're a guard, get a glimpse of the ball. Get a glimpse of the ball and you see it go.
Reggie Cobb comes out of there. Tennessee goes with the extra receiver. Wilson, the lone setback. In motion, T.D. Woods. Francis. Can he find anybody? Tucks it to run. Gets nowhere. Back to the 8, maybe 3. But great coverage by the Auburn secondary of Briggs, Cheatham, Staples, Porter, and the linebackers.
Watch Harper, number 81, Terrence Cleveland. He tried to split it up the middle. It looked like Cleveland was open, but he wasn't there. He couldn't get it in. Now, Auburn drift, keeping communications big. Got to turn around, Briggs, look behind you there, because that's how these guys slip away for 6 points.
Second down goal from the 7 for Tennessee. The pitch to Cobb. Nothing happening. Cobb down hard at the 8, as did Francis. Went down real hard, too, on the pitch. Tracy Rocker took him to the turf. So now it will be 3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line. That's Andre Bruce shaken up on the play. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. Pleased to report that Andre Bruce is okay. That's the story of this game. 8:06 to go in the game. Auburn up by 10. Tennessee with 3rd down 7. 3rd down goal from the 7. Andre Bruce is out of there for this play. That could be significant. He's such a great player. Tennessee 6 out of 12 on 3rd down conversions. They have Terrence Cleveland, T.D. Woods split wide to the left, Harper to the right, Cobb back in there behind William Howard. Lofts it to the big leaper. Bad pass. Plus, there were 3 Auburn players. Everybody in the stands knew that was going to happen. I think some of the Auburn fans were going to go down there and cover Alvin Harper.
Watch Kevin Porter. Now, this guy's experienced. He's a first-round draft choice. Before the snap, Kevin Porter slipped outside. Now, he knows what Tennessee's going to run down here. They try to throw it to the leaper, Alvin Harper, but he just couldn't get there. And Kevin Porter headed for the corner before Harper did.
This is a big field goal attempt from a difficult angle, 24 yards. Rich missed 2 in the first half. It's good. Tennessee pulls to within 7, 20-13, with 7:46 to go in this game. And now the Tennessee defense has its hands full with this offensive Auburn that's full of momentum. .46 to go in the ball game. Tennessee pulls to within 7 on the 24-yard field goal by Phil Rich. Borgonone kicks it to Weigand at the 2. He's dangerous. He's hauled down on a great play by number 10 for Tennessee, Vincent Moore, the freshman from Memphis. The Volunteer defense now in a good position.
Great play by Vincent Moore, and Freddie Weigand having one of those days. Said, Mama, teach me to forget today. Down on the 2-yard line. Just a big, big play by the Tennessee coverage. They're down. They're firing up. They're displaying the character that they have here in terms of this Tennessee football program.
First down, 10 Auburn. They spot the ball at the Auburn 3. The backs, as you see, are in their own end zone. Where? At the 5. This is where Auburn really needs their inside running power because they'll have to try to hammer it out down there. Berger threw an interception earlier that turned into a Tennessee touchdown when Auburn was in its own territory, and Pat Dye is probably not likely to go to the pass right here.
I bet he's checking with Pat Sullivan. I know. What do you got on?
You're not throwing that, are you?
Let me tell you what you don't got on.
Second down, 8, Auburn. Here's Harris, the fullback. Only a couple. They drive him out of bounds at the 9-yard line. The Budweiser scoreboard now. Georgia in a close one with South Carolina. 10-6 Bulldogs in front of the third. Michigan State and Florida State in a close one at halftime up in East Lansing. Clemson laying it on Georgia Tech. Clemson a powerhouse. Texas A&M over Southern Miss. That's a first quarter score. Michigan no problem with Long Beach State. Who would have
Long Beach State?
Pittsburgh out in front. Syracuse trailing Virginia Tech. And Baylor out in front of Texas Tech.
How about Purdue?
Maybe they don't want to tell you. On a third down, here's Harris. He is stopped at the 7 or 8-yard line by Keith DeLong, who just made his 10th tackle of the day for the Volunteers. So Tennessee, with 6:46 to go, trailing by 7, is going to get the ball back.
Let's watch Keith here running through. He's blitzing from the snap, taking the outside gap. Great penetration, makes the stop. Also good contained by Darren Miller, who, again, playing another one of his consistently superb football games.
Schulman from his own end zone. He hits another beauty. Andre Kramer is going to go back to his 42. Nice move, but he gets nothing. I think they'll say his forward progress took him out near the 44. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System. Well, this is the kind of ball game we expected. A great defensive struggle. It's 20-13, 6:12 to go in the game. Tennessee trailing. Auburn with a great defensive team, and Tennessee trying to get back in here. Francis. Going to lose about 1 after he struggles forward again. Alvin Mitchell with the play. And you cannot say enough about the defensive backfield of Auburn and these linebackers who are covering a less than bumper crop of Tennessee receivers. You know, Tennessee has become known almost as wide receiver university, but not this year with the loss to injury of Anthony Miller. And these Auburn defensive backs have won that war so far.
And it's nice playing, trying to cover these rascals playing in the secondary for Auburn because they get such good pressure.
Reggie Cobb finds a little hole. Gets it up near midfield, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long yardage. That was 2nd down 12. They'll spot it at the 48-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down 6. Now, Johnny Major's offensive club has had communication problems here, Tim. What kind of call do you see on a 3rd and 6 at midfield against this Auburn defense?
Well, they're going to throw the ball. They're trying to move the pocket around. They're trying to move that focal point around so Auburn defensive lineman and Andre Bruce can't just load up and come after one spot.
Francis, quick toss, complete to T.D. Woods for the first down. To the 44, 9-yard gain.
Excellent job there by Woods. When he catches the ball, he doesn't have it. Little quick hitch, pop, sits down, waits. Defensive back closed. And he got the first down. Portland couldn't get there in time. Need a good Eric Ramsey.
Ramsey was the nickel back in that situation, expecting Tennessee to have to throw it. 1st and 10 Volunteers at the 44 of Auburn. 4:37 to go in the ball game. Charles Wilson gets inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. The senior fullback for Tennessee. Clock down to 4:26. Tennessee trailing by 7. Remember, the Volunteers have no timeouts remaining. They used all 3 of them on what appeared to be communication difficulties in the 3rd quarter. 2 times Francis called timeouts to come to the sideline, and 1 time Randy Sanders, holding for a field goal attempt, had to call a timeout because the Volunteers didn't have the right situation personnel-wise on the field. 2nd down 4. Francis under pressure. Cobb. First down to the 27-yard line. Tennessee keeps the drive alive. Alvin Briggs, Edward Phillips combining on the stop for Auburn.
It's the 2nd time we've seen the screen from Tennessee. And we've said before, this is one of the best screen teams in America. Their linemen do a nice job getting out in front and then making it count. Oftentimes you'll see linemen, as Jeff Francis views the situation, you see linemen just getting downfield and not getting anything accomplished.
Reggie Cobb to the 24-yard line. Give him about 3 that time. Tripped up by Robert Goff, number 98. Cobb with 58 yards on 18 carries today. And speaking of Jeff Francis, he's 11 of 17 for 148 yards, 1 interception. Let's call it second down 7.
Besides those statistics, he's had 3 or 4 scrambles for critical first down, so he's had an excellent afternoon.
Fakes to Cobb under pressure. It's complete to the fullback, who dives forward close to the first down marker. It'll depend on where they spot the ball when his knee went down, and from the preliminary indication, it's going to be inches short of the first down. The ball needs to cross the 17-yard line to be a first down. That's on the opposite side of the field from where the ball is, and you see the third down marker. That's accurately where the ball is spotted. So here it is, third down, less than a yard. Volunteers trailing by 7, 2:55 to go in the game. Howard driving for the first down. William Howard. He's the 240-pound Tennessee fullback. He ran behind a good middle interior Tennessee offensive line surge. Somebody slow to get up down there for Tennessee. Harry Galbraith, possibly?
No, it's John Bruin.
The right guard for Tennessee, a critical player here. The senior, 285 pounds. You get down here, you gotta have a player like John Bruin.
Todd Kirk and Harry Galbraith, who's an All-American, team with John Bruin, probably to create the best 3 interior set in the SEC.
2:51 to go in the ball game. John Bruin coming out of there, and Tennessee has now inserted Phil Stewart and Eric Still into the lineup. Eric Still had been playing tackle in place of Stewart, who's been hurt. Still, however, is a natural guard, so my guess is 79 will move to right guard and Stewart up in there to the tackle position. This is first down 10 Tennessee from the 17 of Auburn, trailing by 7. They're out of timeout. 2:40 to go in the game. Cobb hit in the backfield by 99 Nate Hill.
You talk about a guy that turns the corner in a hurry on defense. Andre Bruce gets off the line. He's just poised up there like a cat and just explodes across, is able to turn it down right away. I think that's why they like the quick screen on that side. He's just so quick, sometimes he'll take himself out of the play.
Second down 9 Tennessee, the ball at the 15. In motion, Cobb. Francis. Incomplete. Tried to get it into the end zone to tight end Nate Middlebrooks. Probably should have had it, but he took a hard shot from 35 Carlo Cheatham. Oh, that was a close one.
He had it early. The motion by the back took Porter out of there. If he could have got on the ball just a little bit quicker. Middlebrooks had it in his hands. Good held on. Good throw over the leaping Benji Rowland. Middlebrooks takes a shot. The ball falls harmlessly to the turf.
With 1:56 to go in the game, it's 4 down territory for Tennessee. This is 3rd and 9 at the 15. Francis again with a checkoff. Penalty marker's down. The penalty marker was in the Auburn defensive backfield, but it could go either way here. We won't prejudge the call.
I can tell you this right now, Bob. The fade is no good against Kevin Porter. It's no good.
That's the call. Excuse me, Tim. It was delay of game.
Boy, isn't that something?
Tennessee has really struggled with their offense here in the second half. We don't know what the problem has been. They've had to use all 3 timeouts. They've had 2 or 3 miscalled plays. Francis has had to come to the sideline, and the communication offensively for Tennessee, frankly, has been a problem. It is Auburn, 20-13, minute 54 to go in the ball game. And it'll be third down again for Tennessee, but 3rd and 14 from the 21. Complete to Wilson. Wilson is close to the first down. The spot is critical here. You have to cross the 6 for the first down. And they move it back. It gets an Auburn spot in terms of the place it is. And here's the call on that the referee and the officials have to make. It's where the ball is at the point the runner first touches the ground with any part of his body other than his hands. They'll stretch it out and see. I think it's going to be short of the first down. You see about half the length of the football. So it's 4th down and 6 inches for the Volunteers. A minute 44 to go in the ball game. Tennessee out of timeouts and trailing by 7.
Okay, question here. Do you roll the dice here? Do you roll the dice here? Do you play pass them? You know, Auburn has got to be thinking about just firing everybody up inside. Tennessee has had trouble down here moving the football.
What a gamble that would be. Howard and Cobb in the backfield, double tight ends for Tennessee. Cobb going to sweep. Cobb, touchdown, Tennessee!
Did a fantastic job of walling off the Auburn defensive lineman, and the scene was created.
Unbelievable, well, not unbelievable, Tennessee, Johnny Majors electing to go for 1 and tie it. Rich for the point after. I thought they'd go for 2. The point after's good. This game is tied at 20 with a minute 20 to go.
Johnny Majors probably figuring in this particular instance, if you can come out without a loss, you're in great shape going down a stretch the SEC race.
It'd have to be considered a Tennessee upset to tie Auburn. Knowing Johnny Majors and the gambles we've seen him play, I really thought he would go for 2. But he goes for 1 and gets the 20-20 tie with a minute 20 to go in the ball game.
Let's watch this touchdown again. The toss here. Edward Phillips gets caught up in the mess inside. Kurt Crane gets walled off. Nobody is there in the secondary level of defense, and Cobb takes it right on through. Let's watch it again. 76, Harry Galbraith. Look at him switch out there, picks off Crane. Howard walls it off to the inside. That's how you draw it up.
We talked about Tennessee's defensive communication problems. That was, as you said, a clinic on how to run an offensive play against what some people consider the nation's best defensive football team, Auburn. Weigand, very dangerous threat, is back. He's had a rough day. See what Tennessee does here.
Auburn is set for an onside kick.
Dirk Borgonone is the Tennessee kicker from the 35. He's going to hammer it way over the head of Weigand and into the end zone for the touchback. So, 1:20 remaining in the ball game. Tennessee out of timeouts. Auburn has all 3 of their timeouts. It's tied at 20. Tim, you and I said we thought we'd see a close game. Well,
this has been a real treat for everybody here and that's watched the football game. Two great teams going after each other. The benefit that Pat Dye has this year, as opposed to in the past, he can get back in the air. And it's going to be interesting to see if Donahue goes after him with pressure or whether he tries to defend, because Auburn's got a kicker that can kick it a long way, as he's displayed today.
Berger, 12 of 18 so far today. Incomplete. He tried to get Duke Donaldson. Cedric Klein was covering. Second down, 10 Auburn. That used only 5 seconds.
And Auburn had nothing underneath. They had nothing underneath to draw up Cedric Klein. He just kept getting depth, and he put himself in a beautiful, beautiful spot. Berger just had to throw that one out of bounds.
Well, are they going to second guess? Let's say it stays tied. Is Johnny Majors going to be second guessed for time, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I think that's the intelligent decision for him at this point in the season.
Berger on 2nd and 10. A lot of time. Popped in the air. Almost picked off by Kimbrough. It was tipped by Hovanek. And you saw number 82 Kimbrough try to come up with the flopping ball. Whoa, my.
Decent protection. You see Kimbrough forcing the action. Hovanek, great job. Beautiful timing. Ball up in the air. Kimbrough there. Should have made that play. Could have made that play for Tennessee. They got a penalty here.
Against Tennessee. Holding is the call on Tennessee.
And I think it was against lawyer Tillman. Tillman was down here to our side and tried to fight his way up through the defenders.
The clock down to 1:08. That's a first down. It moves the ball out to the 30-yard line. Tied at 20. Remember, Auburn's kicker, Win Lyle, has a 52 and a 55-yard field goal today. Berger. Incomplete. Kramer. At the 35-yard line, Joseph and Bolton wanted pass interference. They're probably saying Kramer was going for the ball. So did Pat Dye.
Watch this now. You're going to see him. He may get there a little bit early. Kramer reacts at the ball being thrown. Boom. He's there. There comes the ball. That was pass interference.
Not called. Upsetting Pat Dye. Second down, 10 Auburn. 1:03 to go in the game. Tied at 20.
Pat asking Pat Sullivan what he's got called.
Auburn having some problems with personnel. They didn't know who was out there. They couldn't decide who to get on and who to get off the field. And Auburn decides to call timeout. Not significant in terms of losing timeouts because they had 3 remaining.
Coaches on the sideline were signaling timeout. Duke Donaldson trying to get somebody's attention. Hey, fellas. Hey, you know what this means? Tell them, Duke.
20-20. Auburn and Tennessee with 1:03 to go. Auburn now down to 2 timeouts remaining. Play resumes. It will be second down 10 from the Auburn 30-yard line. What a ball game. Exactly what we expected. The kicking game has played a big role. The defense has played a big role. And turnovers have played a big role. And that's what I think most people who've studied these two teams thought this game would come down to. And since all of those areas have balanced themselves in one sense, we have the 20-20 tie.
And again, both of these teams at times could have gone down the chute. They could have folded, but Auburn got behind for the first time. They've been behind all year. And, man, they marched the ball 80 yards and scored a touchdown and just show the Volunteers that they came to play. Tennessee at that point could have gone down, but they didn't. They fought their way back.
Now, with 1:03 to go, second down 10 Auburn from their own 30. There are 2 timeouts. Auburn has plenty of time if they can move the ball successfully. Berger. Incomplete down at the 45-yard line. Intended for Duke Donaldson. Hovanek applied some good pressure on Berger that time. 59 came in on Jeff Berger, possibly forcing him to throw the ball just a little bit.
And that's the pattern that won Vinny Testaverde the Heisman Trophy. They're running out the cornerback. They're running out the cornerback. They're bringing the slot in the flat. But a good job of coverage. There just was no place to put that ball for Berger.
Hovanek was coming like a steam engine, and Berger never even considered it. 57 seconds remaining in the game. 3rd and 10 Auburn. Berger calls timeout.
There's a couple of things that could be going on here, Bob. Defense defensively, you make substitutions often based on the personnel in the game offensively. So if you see 3 receivers in the game, you're going to send in 5 defensive backs. What's been happening is Auburn has been holding people before they send them to the sideline. So they're not sure whether it's going to be 3 wide or whether it's going to be a regular set, and thereby causing a problem for the Tennessee coaches trying to make a decision.
Pat Sullivan in the orange jacket talking to Jeff Berger.
Pat talked about coming back to football after being in business, and he said, you know, the bottom line is just that there's nothing that can replace that Saturday afternoon feeling. I mean, you can walk in anybody's boardroom, and it's just not the same. And he complimented his wife, Jeannie, on being supportive and turning him loose to go back to doing what he really always wanted to do. Had the inclination to be a coach after he completed his pro career, but didn't want to make the sacrifice in terms of his family.
Now, if you're Tennessee, do you lay back and play prevent on this? It's 3rd and 10. It's at the Auburn 30 with 57 seconds to go, or if you're Tim Donahue, do you send them?
Well, being as slow as I am, I get my linebackers out of there. I go ahead and make them complete the pass in front of them. Let's see what Tim's going to do. He's playing man under.
It's complete to Donaldson out to the 42-yard line. First down. That'll stop the clock with 50 seconds left. 12 yards on the pass reception. Auburn called 2 plays in the huddle.
They played 2 deep man under, so if a guy gets clear going across the field, he's going to keep on running. There may be no one there to tackle him.
Complete again, this time to the 46-yard line, and the clock runs now at 40, 39, 38, and counting. Auburn up over the ball. Clock still running. Auburn has 1 timeout remaining. They're electing not to use it here. 29, 28. There you see it in the lower right. Berger. Plenty of time. Complete to Bolton. Broke the tackle, got the first down. Now, they're going to spot it at the 42.5-yard line. 19 seconds remaining in the game. That first down stops the clock. Anything inside the 40 will put Win Lyle within field goal distance. The 40-yard line is a 57-yard field goal if he kicks it from the 40. That's the line of scrimmage. That'll give you an idea as to how close Auburn is to the Win Lyle field goal range. Auburn uses their final timeout. 19 seconds remaining, and it's tied at 20. Now, if you're Tennessee, Tim, because they're starting to penetrate the field goal range, do you have to change your line of thinking here defensively?
I think you do. I think you have cornerbacks that can cover. I don't think that's the problem, and I don't think that Auburn's going to try to throw it up over the top. So you have to be more concerned, really, about Walter Reeves and about the running backs. James Joseph is the guy that catches the ball best come out of the backfield.
I wonder if Win Lyle, 18-year-old freshman, 19 years old, excuse me, from Auburn. He's a hometown boy, walked on, got the kicking job. He's number 6 on your right. He kicked a 52-yarder. He kicked a 55-yarder earlier. You can see the concentration and the mind game that's going on with that kicker. That young man is going to be possibly attempting a game winner in front of 93,506. But now it's 1st and 10 from the Tennessee 43. 19 seconds to go in the game. Auburn out of timeouts. Tennessee 4-man rush. Berger. Weigand catches it at the 33-yard line. Clock down to 7 seconds.
I'm going to call time.
It's ticking. They're out of timeouts. The clock is down to 0. This game is over. Auburn out of timeouts could not get the ball snapped quickly enough. And Tennessee, unbelievably, does not have to see the final play. Auburn could not do anything in terms of getting the field goal unit in because they were out of timeouts. Berger, obviously, at least obvious to me, wanted to get the ball, throw it out of bounds, perfectly legal, stop the clock, bring in the kicker. They couldn't get it done. The clock ticked down, and Pat Dye and Johnny Majors will remember this one for a long, long time.